Take a seat, it's time for another episode of Super Seicento.
Hello YouTube, Miller Corner here, welcome back to Super Seicento. Today you join me back in my car, but you might notice that there's a little bit more road noise and vibration than there normally is, and that's because today I haven't got a parcel shelf and my back seats are folded down. And fun fact, if you've got a car with a square back on it like the Seicento, when you fold your back seats down, it's pretty much like a mini van. So where am I off to today with my uber practical Seicento? Well, I'm actually off to pick up some parts because there's a guy called Michael who's on various Cento pages on Facebook who also happens to own a Cinquecento done in the style of a Martini racing car, and it is an absolutely wicked little car. Unfortunately, over the last few months he's had quite a few problems with it failing to start, blowing a head gasket, and then just when he thought he got it fixed, it now won't start again. Anyway, he's totally fed up with the thing and he wants to start fresh, so the whole car is being broken. Now, one of the things that he's got that I'm after are some really awesome seats, and the best part is that where you'd normally have to kind of custom adapt these seats, these ones are obviously already done and ready to go into a Cento because they're coming out of his Cinquecento. What's more, because he's breaking the car down and we're mates, he gave me first refusal of any parts, so I'm off to pick up these seats for the Super Seicento. So let's get down there and go get some wicked new seats. I made good progress and spotted some awesome cars along the way, including a Nissan Stagea, a Tesla Model S, and I even overtook an Aston Martin Vantage. Sadly, the M25, upholding its reputation of being the UK's biggest car park, hindered progress a little bit, and a 90-minute journey took 3 hours. But eventually... Okay, sit rep, we've collected the seats, they're awesome. Michael's car, which is there, has donated the parts, is absolutely awesome. It's a shame it's getting broken, but it's a wicked car. But anyway, we've got the seats, now let's go home and fit them.
So here they are, a couple of front seats from a Subaru WRX, and I absolutely love them. Now, there are a few reasons why I've decided to upgrade my front seats in the first place. For a start, the standard Seicento sporting seats are designed, I'd imagine, for people with very narrow shoulders and quite small backsides. So if, like me, you don't have either of those things, you're sitting more sort of on them than in them, which isn't exactly ideal for side support. As with most second-hand car seats, they've got various marks on them of largely unknown origin that I'm not too keen on. The driver's seat has got a very small foam leak, and both seats are losing quite a lot of stiffness and bolstering in the sides, what with wear and tear from age. So one thing and another, rather than try and refurbish those seats or even put some replacement Seicento ones in, it's the perfect opportunity to upgrade to some awesome WRX seats like these. But before they do go in, I want to do a little bit of prep to them and get them cleaned and tidied up.
The seat bases are a little worse for wear and they do have some surface rust, so we start by unclipping and folding back the fabric on the frame before masking anything off we don't want painted, including the adjuster handle and the exposed nearby seat fabric. Then we lay down some board to stop the bins they're on getting filthy, and then it's time to prep. As with painting anything, prep is key, and I'm using rough sandpaper to flat down the surface rust and metal to make the paint stick easier. I'm painting the seat bases to tidy them up a little bit and to generally make the whole seats more presentable. When rubbing down surface rust like this, don't be afraid to go hard on it. You want to be as smooth as possible to guarantee the best paint finish. Then it's onto the painting itself. I start by spraying on the primer so that the seat bases are as well prepped as possible for a fresh coat of paint. It's important to cover the entirety of the surface you want to paint, but this is done with 3 increasingly heavy coats to avoid runs and to build it up gradually. After around 15 minutes, the final coat of quick dry primer is dry and it's onto the main coat of paint. Once again, the infamous satin black makes a return. It's been on my original wheels, my extended wheel bolts, and now my seat bases. I just can't stop using this paint. This is why we didn't mask up the rails. The paint on them wasn't great anyway, and a fresh coat of black smartened them up nicely. As with the primer, 3 increasingly heavy coats of black are just right, and after around half an hour to dry, it's time to unmask. When you see the amount of black on this tape, you realise how crucial it is to mask up thoroughly when painting anything. As with most seats of about 15 years old, these Subaru seats are a little grubby, so now it's on to cleaning them. I start by spraying them with fabric cleaner, enough to cover the base without being excessive, before rubbing it into the cloth with blue roll. Then I use a sponge lightly soaked in warm soapy water to thoroughly scrub the seat base. Don't be tempted to scrub too hard when doing this though, as you might stretch the seat covering or just start tearing the sponge apart, either of which is a bad thing. Remember to squeeze out the sponge and to get it just damp enough to clean the seats. That way you keep the water supply fly fresh and the sponge clean. Depending on how dirty your seats are and how deep set the dirt is, you might have to do this 2 or 3 times, but eventually the seats are clean. If you're in any doubt about how dirty your seats might be, this is the soapy water from cleaning just 1 seat. Delicious. After around an hour to dry and with the light fading, it's then time to get the seats fitted. We bolted the driver's seat in largely off camera to get it done, and with the passenger seat removed, we can get that one done. There's no better time to vacuum your car out and clean it than with no seat there at all to get in your way. You'll be amazed how much crap you suck up that you didn't even know was there. Now the car's clean, the other seat can go in. My dad uses an Allen key to screw in the 2 rear bolts before moving the seat back to get to the front bolt holes. The seats are adapted to fit the Seicento by welding the Fiat and Subaru rails together, so both of them are still movable. First the Fiat rails are slid back using the handle from my old seat, and then the Subaru adjusters move the Subaru rails back, which expose the front bolt holes. I then line up the front bolt holes and tighten down the bolts, a task which is a minefield of innuendo.
Yeah, that's got the meat of something that's substantial.
Told you. And doing up the other bolt isn't any less innuendo prone.
I don't think it's an issue with the location of the hole. I think that's fine. Ah, that felt distinctly better. The more it sort of goes in, you'd think you'd start to feel some sort of depth to it.
Childish and in no way funny jokes aside though, the bolts are tightened down, the rails are square, and the new seats are in.
That's it. Success.
They do feel nice.
They're really good, aren't they? Look at that. Belted in, mad seats. Good, isn't it? I like it. Oh, perfect. Feels like a proper thing now. Success. Yes.
Sadly, we're all out of light, but the next day we can see that we've gone from this to this. So there we have it. It's been a fair bit of work, but I finally got Subaru WRX seats in the front of the Super Seicento, and they are absolutely awesome. I've already taken the car for a quick test drive out just to make sure they're properly secured in, and I am in love with how nice these seats feel. The standard Seicento sporting seats, as I said before, are not really suited to those of us with wide shoulders and not particularly small backsides, but these seats feel like they were made for me specifically. I'm nicely supported, I'm bolstered in, I'm comfortable, but I've got enough movement space that I don't feel like I'm being strangled by the seat. I've definitely got the confidence to push the car a little bit harder, knowing that no longer am I going to roll out of the seat in a hard and or fast corner. And I love the extra adjustment I've got with them too. The base can be tilted and adjusted to get it absolutely right for how I like it, and I've got a bit more length on the seating rail to get myself in a perfect seating position. WRX seats, it's worth mentioning, will not fit into a Seicento or indeed most other cars as standard though, so if you want to put them in your car, and believe me you do, you're probably going to have to get busy with the welder to make them fit. That said, I think it's absolutely worth it. They're super comfortable, super supportive, almost infinitely adjustable, and I absolutely love them. Now I'm not rolling around in the car in tight or fast corners, I've got more confidence to push it hard and have fun with it, and that will be accentuated when we start making this awesome little car properly fast. That's a story for another day, but for now I want to talk about a little announcement and a little milestone coming up for the channel, because if you hadn't noticed, I am very, very close to hitting 500 subscribers. When I saw that the other day, I couldn't stop smiling. That's awesome. 500 subscribers. Now that is all thanks to you lovely lot subscribing to me, and believe me, there is a proper thank you coming for that. Now to celebrate this mini milestone, I'm going to be doing a 500 sub Q&A special video. If you want to get your name and your question read out in that video, then you can either comment on this video with it, you can message me on Instagram with it, or you can tweet at Miller_corner and you will get your name and your question read out in my 500 subs Q&A special. For now though, thanks so much for watching the video everybody, I really appreciate it. If you liked it, don't forget to click that thumbs up button and also subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified when a new Miller Corner video is released. But for now, thanks once again for watching everybody, and have a brilliant rest of your day. See you soon and have a good one.